What's going on, sports card hobby family? Another day, another sports card video. We had a request yesterday, the day before, from a frequent commenter, Chris. Thanks very much for asking for this video, because these are fun videos to do. What he asked for is, hey, can we take a little bit of a look back, some of the data for 9s and 10s, PSA 9s versus PSA 10s for some of the iconic cards, some of the key cards in the hobby. So we have picked out some that we're going to talk about today, and it's kind of a fun exercise to do, to take a look at where cards are now and where have they been before. I think that helps making buying / selling decisions, as a lot of us trying to figure out, hey, are we trying to move up? Are we trying to sell out of stuff to get into something bigger? Are we trying to, divest downward to where we're going to sell out of something big to get into kind of more of the smaller stuff? It's always a fun part of collecting. And so here we are. We're here with the video. Huge thanks to today's video sponsor, COMC.com. Are you on the hunt for that next NBA superstar or looking to find some Hall of Fame hockey autographs? Look no further than COMC. Their growing 35 million card inventory is a treasure trove for collectors with a wide range of options to suit every taste and preference. The user-friendly COMC interface allows you to filter and search for cards with ease, ensuring you find exactly what cards you are looking to add to your collection. Make sure to visit my links down below in the video description, as well as in the pinned comments. Thank you to everybody over time that has ordered SlabMags through the code that I offer, the Sports Card Dad 10% off. Guys, you've got nice cards. You're looking for, hey, how can I display them and protect them in the best way possible? There is not another product on the market quite like a SlabMag to really make these cards pop. So make sure to check it out. Again, I've got a link in my video description and in the pinned comments, or on the website. Just put in Sports Card Dad and you'll get 10% off your order. All right, so what we're going to look at today, I've actually got PSA 8s versus 9s versus 10s. Going back here, looking at what's going on the last 12 months, and we'll do a 3-year look back and then a 5-year look back and a little bit further back as well, just to kind of talk through, again, where are prices currently and where have they been on a few key cards. Thank you, Chris, for the video suggestion. So we're going to start off with a popular card. It's a card that sells all the time, and it's the 1996 Topps Chrome Kobe Bryant Black Mamba rookie card. This is the base version. It's not the refractor. And we're going to look at 8s, 9s, and 10s. So again, we pulled out a few key cards to talk about today. So if we look at where is an 8, a PSA 8 currently, $795 sale here recently. That is a negative 6.4% from 1 year ago around the same time. PSA 9 at $1,550 sale. That's just a negative 0.2%, so really flat. The PSA 9 for Kobe rookie card, Topps Chrome rookie card, has been mainly flat in a 9 over the last 12 months. In a 10, there's a $5,000 recent sale. That's negative 12.3% if we compare it going back 12 months. 3 years ago, boom time or right about. So 3 years ago, if we look at where an 8 was, March of 2021 was really kind of right at the heights. These are close to the heights or at the heights for these cards that I'll be talking about. The 3-year look back in an 8. So like I said, it's $800 today, $4,000 for an 8 going back 3 years ago. For a 9, today about $1,550, $7,300 sale going back 3 years ago. A 10, this one's going to hurt. $5,000 to sale today. $36,800 sale going back 3 years ago for a 10. So if you look down the line, minus 80% for an 8, minus 79% for a 9, minus 86% for a PSA 10 for this card. Now, 5 years ago, pre-boom, an 8, $291 sale, a 9, $470 sale, and a 10, $1,200 sale. So, hey, if you bought this card in 2018, given all the ride, the up and the big up and the down, you're about 2.5 times your money. If you still have the card going back 5 years. For a 9, you're about 3x, because they're $470, $500. And now $1,500. So about 3x what it was 5 years ago. A 10 5 years ago, about $1,200. So a recent sale at $5,000, that's about 4x where it was. So again, I guess name of the game, and a lot of us already know this, if you're in early enough, even with the highs and the lows, you have still done very well on even a fairly common card here and the 96 Topps Chrome Kobe Bryant rookie card. Next up is one that Chris specifically asked for to be talked about. 2011 Topps Update Mike Trout rookie card, one of the more popular modern baseball cards over the last few years. Of course, it was the huge Vegas Dave sale that kind of kick-started a lot of this sports card stuff. Or the big, most newsworthy one was where he bought the what? The one-of-one refractor, whatever that card was, for $400,000, and he sold it for $4 million. That was kind of right as we were getting into boom time. Vegas Dave was in early. This is the more kind of base rookie card, the popular kind of that flagship Mike Trout rookie card. And sadly for Trout, it's just been kind of a downward spiral since the hobby boom. Just injuries derailing kind of the last few years of his career. Going to go down as an all-time great, no doubt. But man, it's just hurt the fact that the guy just hasn't really been on the field that much. And so let's take a look. Over the last 12 months, in an 8, $385. That's down 24.5%. A PSA 9, a recent sale, $448. That's a negative 40% year over year. That stings. And then a 10, $951 recent sale. It's a negative 51% year over year. Now, 3 years ago, boom time, an 8, $1,500. A 9, $2,000. Pretty common sales for a 9. And the 10, this is not the all-time high, but 10s going back 3 years, $4.65 thousand, about $4,600. And I remember these got up to $5,500 at the height. So they're, we're looking at 85% drops on this card from the height. If we go back 5 years, 2019, kind of pre-boom, kind of right there, it had to start, stuff had moved up, but we had not the big boom yet. So a 9 was right at about $380, and a 10 was $798. So if you look at that, a 9 at $380 and a 9 today is at $448. It's kind of creeping back to a 5-year low on this card. So almost the same price in 2019 as today. That's saying quite a bit given just the amount of cash injected into the hobby that has come all the way back down almost to 2019 prices. And a 10, $798 in 2019, that's pretty close to where the thing sits now. In 2015, some might say, well, what about going back in time? 2015, it was all very flat. But if you look back at 2015 and a 10, $100 to $125 card. And also keep in mind, think about how many less of these were graded in 2015. So the supply, not only is the price $100 to $125 for a PSA 10 going back 9 years, but far less pop. We're talking about way, way less population PSA 10s that were graded going back 9 years. So I think this card really is an eye-opener when you look at how much growth in this particular card, given the supply. Again, this is not, there's thousands of these on the population. So this is not like it reached $5,000 because of some sort of rarity scarcity. This was just strictly Mike Trout demand that drove this price to get up as high as it was. And man, it has really, really cratered. But again, if you bought this thing in 2015, if you have a 10 or a handful of 10s that you bought in 15 and you did nothing through the boom and you did absolutely nothing, you bought for $100, you're up 9x. It's a $950 card. So think about that. Over 9 years, if you 9x'd your money on anything, that's incredible. So again, it's context. It's always context. Prices fall down, of course, when you're looking at the near term, when you're looking at kind of recent history. But man, if you were a buyer back when, if you had a bunch of these and you held on and just did nothing, fell asleep during the boom and fell asleep during the crash, you're still actually doing really well today. 2000 Bowman Chrome Tom Brady card. I've said on the channel I want to get this card. When I look at this data now, I'm like, oh man, I'm waiting. I'm just waiting. All right, so last 12 months, PSA 8 for the Bowman Chrome rookie card, not the refractor. This is the base rookie card. $1,247 currently, a recent sale. That's a negative 26% going back a year. PSA 9, about $2,000. That's a negative 34% year over year. And the PSA 10 at $6,600 sale. That's a negative 38% year over year. Now, let's compare to 3 years ago. Again, we're going back to boom time. For an 8, got up to $3,500. $3,500 for an 8. A 9, almost $6,000. $5,900 sale. And the 10 got up. Now, again, this is not the all-time high, but close to it at $22,000, $21,800 sale. I think these got all the way up to about $25,000, maybe a little bit more, that as the all-time height for some of these cards. So again, we're talking about 65, 70% drops from the high, 75% drops in some cases. But again, go back 5 years on this card. Go back 5 years, an 8, $357. A 9, $616 sale. A 10, there's an $1,800 sale going back to 2019, 5 years ago. So you're about 3.5x your money, 4x your money. If you bought, again, you bought 5 years ago and you did absolutely nothing. The thing boomed up, you sat on it. It crashed down, you sat on it. You're still up 3.5, 4x from 5 years ago. And then if you go back, it's going to blow your mind even more. You go back to 2016. So let's go back 8 years. You bought this card. You bought a handful of these. $613 sale going back to 2016. So this thing went from a $600 sale in 2016 all the way up to about 25 grand at the height. Currently sits at $6,600. You're 10x your money. Still, if you bought in 2016, you can't really find much that beats this. If you're looking at just buying and selling things, even in traditional markets, 10x your money in 8 years is a tremendous amount. I understand that most cards don't fall into this bucket. We're picking kind of important cards, important players, but still, isn't that eye-opening that, you know, in 10 years, you still have 9, 10x your money? That's after the huge fall. Because of course, we always look at, and I do this too, I'm looking at, you know, prices coming down here over the last 6 months, 12 months, over 2, 3 years from the highs. But again, if you were in early on this stuff, you have done very well on it. So it's kind of good to see just how inflated things have been. There's no guarantees the stuff continues to go down. I think there is some price discovery that did happen, but it also does show you kind of like, hey, does this have room to go down? Well, historically, it has been a lot further down. So it's just things to keep in mind as we're all out there shopping along for our next sports card / collectibles buys. All right, guys, thanks very much for joining me here today. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.